Alright, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the way to Akim, Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity in the video of the Spirit. Modern day Madness Prophecies. It's your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. Got a couple of clips. Alright, we're going to get right to it. We'll start off with how, all this shit's a sham, basically.
We fund ourselves and then work out what dividend is needed to pay. So we kind of work, it's a great business to be in, central banking. Print money if people believe it. And
they literally laugh at us. A 1% minority, these global elites that have found a way to infiltrate nations around the world, to create central banking operations that allow them to print this piece of paper physically and digitally into oblivion, thus reducing our buying power. Therefore, prices are up, the middle class is being abolished. You have first world countries becoming third world. You have wars that are being funded by both sides of the party. You have fractional reserve banking where they take your money on deposit and lend it back out and make money off of it. You have political insider trading. You have influence from lobbyists and bills and senates and all sorts of things that are getting passed without our consent, unconstitutional bylaws, all sorts of broken infrastructures. And if you think this is bad, you're right. And if you think that's a problem, you're right. And if you think this is accidental, that's where we're wrong. It's all designed and set up this way. To make us tired, to make us stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, living in fear, stress, and anxiety, to not be able to think clearly, to question the very powers that have been in place for so long. It's time to rise up and
we actually fund
So he's speaking some things, but they're not going to rise up. That's the thing about it, because all these things have to happen for prophecy's sake. But we see that the average, some of these lower dog Edomites are starting to wake up to the myth that is their country and government.
We got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have union money. We're dead broke. We are in huge trouble. In this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon. And there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in? I could have put my Social Security money for 40 years in tax in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today. But the federal government wasted it. People are going to have to work, continue to work longer and longer. Am I right, Ms. Ginger? Can you say something about Social Security?
Yeah, and I'd like to point out when Social Security was first founded, those who established it was started out as a 2% tax, and they said this will never take more than 6% of your income. Today it takes 12.4%, and depending on whether you go with CBO or Social Security trustees, it needs to take between 15.8 and 17.5%.
This is all a scam.
So,
this is all
Social Security is a scam. He's literally telling you got people that's finna get ready to try to retire, and they finna be assed out. Alright. Now this is just a post. It says, in med school, I took an elective called stress, foolishly thinking I was going to learn about meditation and yoga. Instead, the professor spent 6 weeks proving that being poor or minority literally destroys your health on a molecular level. And I think about that every day. And I'm just throwing that in there. Conditions of suffering, shortens a person's lifespan. Literally, putting hell on your shoulders, right? A couple more clips. It's being revealed that this man's leaders have been dealing wickedly. They ain't been doing right by their people.
A lot of marks in our skies, leaving long trails. So much toxic being in our waters.
So, Randy, what do you think is the cause of all this that you're seeing?
I've been doing some research, and geoengineering is proposing to spray 20 million tons of aluminum into the skies to reflect sun back into space now.
All right, you know what? A lot there. I don't know if you want to address any of his individual concerns.
There is some legitimate concern about bioterrorists. A certain number of military personnel will be going to West Africa to try to help contain the spread of the Ebola virus.
The most interesting thing on the show this morning was the informed caller who called and asked about the geoengineering, the chemtrails, and we've got a Democrat and a Republican sitting there, and he's saying, oh, they're spraying heavy metals in the sky, and it's not good for our health. He was asking both those gentlemen about this program, and they immediately pivoted to, oh, we got to watch out for Ebola. This is one of the topics that's taboo on C-SPAN, just like 9/11. Geoengineering is not allowed to be talked about. Neither of those congressmen wanted to go anywhere near it.
Do you think they knew what it meant?
Of course they knew.
Of course they
You know what? This is a perfect example of hidden in plain sight.
Hey,
I'm seeing it.
hidden in plain sight. All right, you know. So let me get one more. One more cycle. Let's get this precept now. When your rulers are doing wickedly, you know, it'll destroy everybody under them. Ecclesiastes 10 and 16. Do this one. All right, it says, "Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season, for strength and not for drunkenness." So right here, basically, these verses, it's saying that, you know, your leaders, they're supposed to be rising up to take care of the people before they please and feed themselves. And you're seeing in this world that the people at the top, they only give a damn about themselves, which is why everybody underneath them is suffering. And the people at the bottom are discovering these things, and they're not liking it. But, you know, there's billions of dollars between us and them, so the motherfuckers at the top don't give a damn, even when it's their own Edomite people telling them how fed up they are with current society. All right, this is all a part of I'll let this play. What the fuck? Now this one's a meme, but it says, going to work to survive this world. It says, the bank says I can't afford a $1,200 mortgage, so I pay $2,000 in rent instead. Yep. You know, you try to go get a mortgage, right? Oh, you know, we don't think you can afford this. Well, then the only thing that's left to get is rent, and everything around you is $2K and up. You know, Esau is purposely tightening the conditions of life on the earth, and which is pushing everything towards the coming World War III and towards his mark. All right, this ain't by mistake. You know, make no mistake about it. Let me see. Now, all right, we'll shift over to the next topic. So apparently this is something that happened out in Mississippi. You know, they're taunting that Negro woman, right? This is back in 1962. A crowd of Edomites doing Jake wrong. So basically, ain't shit changed. That's the point of this post right here. It's been about 80 years, and ain't shit changed, and you shouldn't expect it to, because this is the land of your enemies, and they hate you. Right? He uses the media to paint us to be the bad guy, and to fashion himself to be a good guy. And it's a complete opposite. I got that. Let me add it with, so I'll add it with this video. So you have, well, let me do this.
Thus Lucifer became the devil. Thus Lucifer became the devil, and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race.
And I'm pretty sure y'all have seen that clip. So, according to the Mormons, we're black because we didn't help fight against Satan in the Great War. So you see the perception of us, over here stateside, right? How these Edomites have painted us to be. But then when you go across other parts of the world, without, granted, everybody, all the heathen against us all the heathen everywhere are against us. Don't, make no doubt about it. In modern day culture, these past 100 years and whatnot, Esau over here in the West has especially did his best job to demonize our image. But when you go elsewhere, what do you see? Alright, so you're going to have to read the subtitles to this one. So this woman asks this other woman, these Asians, would you like to date a black person?
付き合いたいと思ったって考えたことないですね。身近に黒人の方とか関わったことありますか？ないんですよね。だから。
So she asked, have you ever talked to him? Are you ever around him? She said no.
考えたことがないです。けど全然人は人っていうかその差別とかないので全然いいと思います。黒人の方に対するイメージ、いいイメージも悪いイメージも強そうだし、仲間意識も強そうだなみたいな。悪いイメージはお会いしたことないからもう本当にイメージになっちゃうと思うんですけど、見た目が強そうなので怖く見えちゃうかもしれないです。黒人の方に対して羨ましい。
So she said, that niggas that look scary and they're strong, but she said they have a sense of what? I'm sorry.
そうだし、で全然いいと思います。黒人の方に対するイメージ、いいイメージも悪いイメージも強そうだし、仲間意識も思うんですけど、そうなので。
She said a strong sense of camaraderie, which, I get what she's trying to say. Niggas are discombobulated in today's world, but niggas stick together. Nonetheless, I guess.
怖く見えちゃうかもしれないです。黒人の方に対して羨ましい点ってありますか？身体能力が高いのすごい羨ましいですよね。全然足遅くて走れないので、すごい足速そうだなって思います。友達になってみたいとは思いますか？もう全然いろんな人と関わりたいので関わってみたいです。黒人。
So she said she envies their physical ability. All right, so she said she ain't never met a black person, but she don't mind them. The fact that she envies their, our physical capability. So just showing y'all, Esau, he's painted this image over here in the Western world, but in other places, they deify us to a degree. Although they still too are prejudiced, all right. But they, Esau, that they ain't been over here, haven't been watching BET and Chief Keef and Sukihana and all of them. All right, but Esau has done this on purpose, destroyed our image and reputation to the point where don't nobody know, who we are, truly. All right, let me get one more clip.
The most important Roman, I would argue, who actually ever came to Britain was the African Emperor Septimius Severus. He was one of the greatest Roman emperors. So he was born in North Africa in AD 145. He was a warrior. He came here to Britain in AD 208. He got a message from the governor, and the governor said that we here in Britain are being attacked from the north and we're in danger of being overrun. The first thing he does is have them build the walls of Roman London. So the city of London, to this day, the square mile is defined by the African Emperor Septimius Severus. If you walk into the reception area of the British Museum, the first bust you see is a bust of Septimius Severus, alabaster white, but actually when he was in real life in the Roman world, he would have been painted as he was a man from North Africa. This is a man who's there all the time. He's right in front of us all the time in the British Museum, but nobody knows unless you dig into the story that he was a warrior emperor from North Africa who stayed true to his own heritage. The most important.
So, and Septimius, he wasn't repping his Israelite heritage, but we understand, he's a dark-skinned man of color who was getting some things done. All right, this is what they don't like for us to know. All right, they just want you to think you're a dumb, stupid, simple nigga, boo-hoo nigga. want us to know that, we were once the rulers of the planet. All right. It says African Moors who conquered Spain and ruled it for 700 years were responsible for bringing Europe out of the Dark Ages into the Renaissance. While Christian Europe had 99% illiteracy rate, and with only 2 universities, the Moors had 7. They introduced education to Europe. Okay, so you go from how we used to be to how we are now. All right, and most of the world is in the dark about it. Why? Because of Esau, Edom. All right, now let me get this scripture in particular from Maccabees. What Esau has done was removed our name and nation. The things, the people who we are, the things that we have done. Which, we're not Africans, we're not Moors. This is when Jake was, going off, right? Truly, we're the Israelites. But we're not just some dumb bumpkins from Africa who, fell out the trees and landed in slavery. He's completely rewritten our history, and everybody, is just hating us or don't know what's going on with us. All right, First Maccabees 12:53. Then all the heathen that were round about then sought to destroy them. For said they have no help nor any they have no captain nor any to help them. Now therefore let us make war upon them and take away their memorial from among men. So that's where we're at with it. And now this was several thousand years ago. Esau has removed our memorial. He has it to where these people have no idea. Which the truth is out there now. But these people, they're not acknowledging us for being the Israelites, for being the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All we're being acknowledged as is just niggas who are fast, and either you hate us or you love us. They don't actually take into account our true heritage. All right, everybody's running around poking fun at us. All right. So now let's go next. I want to get one more, or I'll probably combine the 2 clips. Let's take a look at Amalek. Hopefully this don't get the video taken down either. Where'd it go? Okay.
1917, the British government sent Walter an official letter promising to do everything within their power to provide land for the creation of Israel. That letter redesigned the map of the world, and if you need proof, we have a copy of that letter. November 2nd, 1917. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
So it's possibly the most famous letter in modern Jewish history, and begins with 3 words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
That letter, nicknamed the Balfour Declaration, is proof that it was the Rothschild family that created Israel. But there's even more evidence. In this interview, the head of the Rothschild family proudly explains how his ancestors created Israel. The interviewer begins by asking the question that was on everyone's mind.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great uncle Walter?
The reason is obvious, because it was the Rothschilds' money, power, and influence that made the British government fall in line. Years later, Britain kept their promise to the Rothschilds and provided a large piece of land to start Israel. And in May 1948, the State of Israel was officially created. Although this was good news, the Rothschilds were just getting started. What the Rothschilds did next was even more impressive. They invested millions of dollars into Israel, building schools, roads, and everything needed to turn that piece of land into a beautiful James Rothschild single-handedly paid for Israel's Congress building, Israel's Supreme Court building. However, the more money the Rothschilds spent, the more problems they created. Why? Because the land the British gave to Israel actually belonged to another group of people called the Palestinians. And that land dispute sparked the series of conflicts between Israelis and Palestinians that's gone on for decades. But we're not here to talk about the war. We're talking about power. Specifically, the power of the Rothschild dynasty.
So you see how Amalek got set up over there. They just straight up, barged in. I'm going to combine that with another clip. So we see how these people get down. Classic Edom tactics. Show up, start naming shit, and that body start hitting the floor. Throw this in here.
I'm about to show you something extremely controversial. It's even illegal in the state of Israel to obtain this. And if you do obtain it, it's illegal to show it and or talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that, right? Now, you might ask yourself, why is it illegal to obtain this in the state of Israel? Because it proves through your DNA that Jews around the world have no ancestral ties to the land of Israel. But according to Israeli law, the fact that I have Jewish blood gives me more right to somebody's home and land in the land of Palestine than somebody that has been there for hundreds of years. Doesn't make sense.
Oh no, it makes sense when you know who you're dealing with. All right, and so we see that we're dealing with Double E, the man, the thief, the maggot himself. All right, so he shows up, he takes over, and it's no good. So let me get Slovakia. Hey, because that's in the law. He'll show up and remove your landmark. He's a thief. That's taking over. Which one? I can get it. I'll just get it right from the law. No, I'll get 17. Deuteronomy 17:17. It says, "Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say, Tawaf." All right, so right there, he's literally cursed because he's going around taking things that do not belong to him. Literally, he'll take over your culture. Oh no, then throw up some paintings. Here it is, from a couple hundred years ago. But then when you pull up the original paintings from 1,000 years ago or more, oh no, we can't. That's not. Well, race doesn't matter. All that type of talk. He's going around and he's doing nothing but wrong and evil, and the people of Earth are getting tired of it. Therefore, they are exposing him. All right. So that's it for this one. All right. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakorash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all elect Akim, Wa'akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.